Hi there! Can I tell you something interesting? In Korea, when we meet someone for the first time, we usually ask each other's age within the first 3 minutes. Isn't it crazy? It's not rude. People don't take it personally. We just go, 나이가 어떻게 되세요? How old are you? Because we need to figure out whether to speak to that person politely, casually, or formally. Look at this picture. Like, do I add the yo? Do I drop the yo? Like, do I use honorifics? All of that is part of our culture, and we have to make sure we ask each other's 나이, that's age. So in this video, I want to show you how you could do that in Korean too. And by the way, recently I just filmed my video how to introduce yourself. There you talk about your age, where you're from, your job, your hobbies. And this is actually a continuation because age is very important in our culture and we talk about it all the time. So just let that be part of this series and let's talk about it. And because it's so important, there are actually three different ways to ask someone's age. So, are you ready to learn all three phrases and how to answer that question so you know how to talk about your age when someone asks you? And don't get offended when you go to Korea. You're like, "Hi, nice to meet you. How old are you?" It's just to figure out our speech, okay? Form of speech. Let's talk about it. Bring your notebook. Ready? Number one. The first way is literally translated, how is your age becoming? So 나이, that's your age. 어떻게, how, 되세요. That comes from the verb 되다, which is to become. So how's your age becoming? Very formal way to ask. Very polite, formal, safe to say every time to strangers, right? We're kind of like not saying how old are you? We're saying how's your age becoming? It's a little bit more passive. It sounds better to your ears, right? So let's say it again 3 times because repetition is power. It's not boring, it's a powerful tool that you can do. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? I'll say it slowly. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? Put your tone up at the end because it's a question. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? Good job. I love active learners. That's how you do it. When I say repeat after me, you repeat after me. In your room or in your car, wherever you are doing an active participation because that's what's going to remain with you. This is your learning, not my learning, right? Make this yours. Take every juice out of this video and make it yours. And to answer that, you go 저는 and then plug in how old you are in native Korean numbers. There's two systems, number systems in Korean, native numbers and Sino numbers. And if you're like, what are they? I don't know numbers. I have 2 videos on this my channel, on my YouTube channel. One about Sino numbers, one about native numbers. Each one is 20 minutes. I talk about when to use it, when to not use it, uses of all Sino and all native. So go find those videos. You're gonna find it super helpful because we talk about numbers all the time, whether it's age, birthday, money, you name it, dates. So here I used my age, 34, 34, simplified from net. And then you put 살이에요. 살 is a counter for talking about your age, right? Like measure word. And 이에요 is am here. So 저는 34살이에요. So remember, 살이에요. Can you say that 3 times? 살이에요? 살이에요? 살이에요. So that's a measure word and am. Honestly, you can drop 저는, which is I, because we already know we're talking about you. Like, if it's obvious, just drop it. That's how native people are like doing it. So 살이에요, and then let's go down to native number chart. So then what I did here, if you noticed, let me draw it for you. Hold on, grab a pen. And I use native numbers 30, 30, and then I use 4, net, and then I use the measure word So I simplified it by dropping the 받침 and said 네 instead of 넷. So combining the 30s, 34, and then 살이에요. That's what I did. What about we plug in other numbers? Maybe you are 22. So that's 스물, that's 20. 스물. And then 2 is 둘, but simplify it because there is 할, the counter, 둘. So 스물 두 살이에요. 살이에요 remains the same. That's the phrase that you need to answer your age. What about you are 73? One of my students, their age is 73. I'm so proud of you. So proud of all of our elders who are learning with me. I love that because learning has no expiration date and I just love your passion, right? Whatever age it is, it's like so inspiring. So 73, let's go with these two. 일흔, that's 70, and simplified version of a 셋 is 해 without the 받침 because there is a measure word. Only when there is a measure word, we drop it for enunciating purposes. Like, it's so much smoother when you drop the 받침. So, 일흔 세 살이에요. 일흔 세 살이에요. You get the point. So this chart, native numbers, very important to know when you want to talk about literally anything because numbers, we talk about it a lot. All right, just wanted to bring that to you so you guys have a bigger idea on how to plug in your own age. So to review, the first way is 나이가 어떻게 되세요? They ask you, and to answer, 저는 34살이에요. And 저는 can totally be skipped. 34살이에요. 34살이에요. 일흔 73살이에요. 73. Or 마흔, just 0, 40. 40살이에요. You see how I do it? Just plug in your native numbers and you can answer your first question. Now, let's go to the second way of asking your age. This is so interesting. It is, what year were you born? So you've heard of like Korean age and international age. Have you heard of that? We have like a Korean age that we've been using for thousands of years, where when you're born, you're already 1 year old. So basically, the Korean age is like 1 year older than your regular age because our system is kind of like that. But for starting from a few years ago, we're trying to get rid of that system. But because we've been using that age system for such a long time, it's taking us a while to get rid of it. So, you know, the whole like Korean age and American age, like that's so confusing. We are just like, you know what? Let's just ask what year you're born. And also, it's a little passive way of asking, how old are you? So it shows a lot of our culture too, because we don't want to be direct all the time. You know, although it's very important to talk about your age because we need to figure out, do I talk to you politely or casually? So to ask what year were you born, it is 몇 년생이에요. Let me do it very slow. 몇 년생이에요. Let's break it down. 몇, this is how many, how much. 년생, people who are born in. 이에요, MR is. So what year were you born in? That's what I'm asking. 년 right here is actually a measure word for counting years. Okay, like 2007, 2026, 2026년, something like that. 2007년. And 년생 is people who are born in. So, 몇 년생이에요? Now, if they ask you that, you need to not say, I'm 40 years old. You need to talk about your year that you're born in. But you don't want to go like 1992. Like, that's too long. You just talk about the last two digits. For me, I'm 92. So, I go 92. That's Sino numbers because years are counted with Sino numbers. I know. Why do we have two number systems? I don't know. Native number system is from Korea and Sino is adopted from Chinese characters and Chinese culture. So we use both because we got influenced by those, countries back in our history. So we kind of adopted both. So please do understand. And you need to know both. If you ask me, what's used more often? My answer, we use both, same amount. So we gotta know both. Okay? So then here I have to talk in Sino, 92. And then 년생 comes back here. 년생이에요. 이에요 is am or is. I told you. Be being verb. 92년생이에요. 92년생이에요. Let's practice with other years too, because not everybody's born in 92, right? Because I like to always expand you with our lessons. So sign on number systems, I color coded in blue. I used cool, that's 9, and 9/10, right? That's ship. So cool ship. That's how I said 90. And then 2 is 이. So cool ship 이, and then 년생이에요. That's how I said it. What if you're born in 90? No, not 90. Let's go to like 80. 84. 1984. So just drop the 19 and go 84. That's 8, 8, and then 10, you need a 10. 80. And then 4 is 4. 84년생이에요. Do you get it? 84년생이에요. So cool. Let's do like a little bit more up. What about yours? 75. Born in 1975. Then we're going to go to 7, 7, and then we need the tens again. 70 and 5, 5. 75년생이에요. 75년생이에요. Okay, so then we go back here. You guys got the idea of how I used this to say my year of birth. So now you guys can practice with your year of year that you're born in to practice this. So to review, we would ask 몇 년생이에요? 몇 년생이에요? Answer 92년생이에요. Plug in your number, Sino number for your years. All right? And now I can teach you the last way of asking someone's age. And that is, how old are you? Very direct and very casual, I would say. This is also very often used because it's casual, yet polite, because I'm using yo ending, because yo ending is polite. But because it's direct, I would say it sounds more casual when you use this phrase. So that goes like 몇. Oh, that sounds familiar. We just talked about 몇 년생이에요. That's 몇, how many, how much. 몇, and then 살. Oh, wait, that sounds familiar too. Remember when we answered the first one? This part? 살 is a counter for talking about your age, counting your age. So 살이에요 just comes back. So how many 살 are you? 이에요 being verb. 몇 살이에요? 몇 살이에요? Slower. 몇 살이에요? 몇 살이에요? Right, carrying over the sound for assimilation. Now, that's direct. How old are you? So the answer is the same method or same phrase that we used here on number 1. Blank, whatever your age, 살이에요. And we use native numbers for that. So I marked it red right here. 47. What is that? Quiz time. 47. If you know your numbers and native numbers, you're going to understand what I'm saying. 47. 살이에요. Am or is, and then 살. All right, it's 47 years old. I already gave the answer there. So 47. Let's check it with this chart. I used 40, that's 40, and then 7, 7, and then 살이에요. 47살이에요. All right. So, shall we do a quick review? Because, as I said, repetition is not boring, it's power. That's how you really get better at this language because without reviewing, you're going to forget everything. If you don't use it, you forget it. Number one. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? 34살이에요. Number two. What year were you born? 몇 년생이에요? 92년생이에요. Number three. 몇 살이에요? 47살이에요. We didn't get offended. We think it's very informative, so I know how to talk to you now. Honorifics and casual, polite, formal, all of that. Very important in Korean culture. Alrighty, so that really wraps up everything. And if you're looking for other resources that I could help with in your speaking Korean or expanding your vocab, or traveling in Korea, or reading Korean, I have all the resources available on my website. So if you're brand new here, if this is the very first video that you found of me, I just wanted to let you know that I have all the resources available on my website right here, and you can find some resources in the description. So you can browse and see what you need. And I hope you found this lesson really helpful, and just know that teacher loves you. And we'll wrap it up right here. And if you need to find videos about numbers, I'll just link it right here. You guys can watch Sino and native numbers in Korean because it's going to be so helpful for you. All right, then with that, I'll see you next time. I love you so much. 안녕!